know, those super sexy bikini car washes, yeah? Looking a bit smarter.
It's a bit better. I mean, we'll see how it dries.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is like probably about 3 or 4 years of grime and then sitting in the warehouse with additional grime.
I mean, I do remember washing it once.
Yeah.
That's been a few years.
Looks orange again. Always looks better on camera, eh?
Yeah, it looked fine on camera.
That's pretty bright and fancy in there. I think Joe's done a little bit of paint touch up in a few areas as well. Save the rust. But yeah, looks pretty good, doesn't it? Pretty happy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Valves turned up today. Finally, and thanks America.
He's doing his favourite job.
Yeah, that's what we're around here to see.
Oh, don't look too close.
Well, see, in the past I did this. I reckon I did a pretty good job. What do you reckon?
Well, I think you probably did better than me.
You're struggling.
Well, this one's going to be okay, but this one is not going to be okay.
This one, yeah, it was quite difficult. You got to feed it through.
And wiggle it.
Yeah, so you probably should have done that one first, but you know.
Well, I'm here now.
Ask him where the first time he wrapped his horse, where he did it.
In the bath?
No, on my bed.
On your bed?
I didn't know it was itchy.
He said because it was comfy. Yeah. Eve wasn't happy.
She wasn't that happy, to be fair.
It's like,
It's the itchiest thing you could ever pick up.
I know.
Well, I know now. I know. I was only little.
Absolute genius, mate.
I was probably only 20 or something.
Oh, that's one of my favourite stories. How have I never heard that before?
I never told you that.
Yeah, for anybody who's not done this, this is miserable.
Don't do it in your bed.
Always wear gloves. Always wet it. Pull it tight.
I didn't wet it on my bed.
Strap it hard. Use these metal tie clips as well. There.
And then cut them really badly so it destroys your hands whenever you
I'm
have
going
to
to
work
do that for Craig
Definitely,
especially.
definitely. Flick it all over your face. Excellent.
Miserable.
So I just thought I'd bring you up to speed with what's going on with the 86 and the miseries. You guys seem to like it when we show you the reality of doing stuff like this. So I have just been down the motorway to collect some parts that were delivered by FedEx this morning. They were originally supposed to be delivered on Monday because we ordered them last week with FedEx Priority and had loads of delays, and they've turned up. Well, I've been and collected them, got them, and they are these very important parts. They're the valve locks basically. They sit in, that's probably the easiest way to demonstrate. This is the top of the valve. You can see those two little pieces there. They sit in and lock the retainer in the top of the valve. Oh, where do I even start with the misery of this story? Right, so I told you about the valves being damaged originally. So the valves in our 307cc RHS heads were damaged, pitted, needed replacing. We were struggling to get the valves. They were delayed for ages because they're massive titanium things. Craig and I found them online with Comp Cams, who make the stuff and distribute the parts for RHS heads. Ordered them, got them here, sent them off to machining to basically have them fitted to the heads, and the heads checked. Is it here? Found out that the valve stem is 5/16, not 8mm as it was previously in these. So there's only a small difference there, but it's enough to be a massive problem, and it means that ultimately that these collets or valve locks do not fit these valves. So yeah, we've ordered some, thought they're the correct ones. They've turned up, and I don't know whether I can demonstrate this. Whether you can see here, normal type bead lock, I think they call it, where it's kind of like a rounded edge. And then, oh, will you be able to see here? These are square type. Not correct for the valves. So yeah, currently Wednesday. We are trying to use this car on Monday. We're trying to get it ready to take it to Drift Pro now at Donington on a bank holiday Monday. It's not looking very good, so I'm currently waiting another 15 minutes until I can ring America, ring CompCams, and see whether I can get them to actually send us what we need. Cross fingers. Taylor's just sitting here loving life, feet up.
Just got a cramp in my hip, it's really uncomfortable.
You're a bit older than when you first
Yeah,
made it.
I don't know I'm going to get out.
We got some awesome pictures of you from, it was probably only like 4 years ago, but I think you have aged about 25 years since then, haven't you?
Yeah.
And you. And you as well. Loving life.
You want to be fair.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know, I've had a kid and feel like I've aged 10 years in two, so you know, that's how it works.
Last week.
Yeah. Jay's been on holiday, so that's basically aged him by about 4 years.
With family, yeah.
Yeah, lots going on in here in case you can't tell. Bit of wiring, lots of safety stuff going on, and I'll just show you where we're at with my fresh air. So this is the base of my fresh air filtered air thing. I've got the new clip-in gas filter that goes below, so this chunky thing here. Now double layer, that just clips into there and hopefully gets rid of the smoke.
There'll be some kids trying to vape with this sort of thing.
Fraser.
Like that, yeah.
Fraser.
Driving around Birmingham, looks like the cars have exploded about smoke in that
vapists.
window. Yeah. What is the matter with people?
And then up-to-date fire extinguisher as well, although we've got a built-in fire extinguisher here, plumbed-in stuff. For anybody that's ever seen one go off, they're pretty much absolutely useless.
It's a little girly dribble.
They go, "Pooh," and it's never in the right place. It never puts anything out that is actually on fire, but you know, rules is rules. So yeah, the best thing you can have is a proper handheld fire extinguisher. So we've got a 2 litre fire extinguisher going in, which if something was to happen, I could at least point it in the right direction, eh?
At your feet.
Yeah. So yeah, it's getting really busy in here. We've still got some shrouding to do around here, some sealing. Obviously a big part of safety in a car like this is making sure that all firewalls are completely blocked off, front and rear. Everything's tied up as safely as possible. One other thing that I have not filmed anything of, but has taken me personally about 2 days of my time working in here, and Craig a little bit as well, is... It's going to be very hard for you to tell because I didn't show you before, but this wheel now has about 30mm more droop than it ever had. Both wheels do. So done loads of work on the rear axle here to essentially get it to drop down a lot further than it was. The biggest issue was, a bit hard for me to show you here, but here you can possibly see, this here, this is a new kinked arm that we've made. It was previously a straight bar and it was actually hitting that cross member that's just below. Sorry, I can't show you better. We're doing actual work on the car at the moment. But what it basically means is that this axle can now droop a lot lower. We've had to make a new bracket here to the outboard side for the panhard rod because the diff was then hitting the panhard. I've levelled it all up. We've got loads more droop on longer shocks, which are E36 M3 HSD coilovers, and that's all comboed up to basically give us bump stop in the exact correct place, a lot more droop than we ever had, more articulation if required, which I think it always was, because I think that this used to do weird stuff like when you pitched the car, it used to pick up an inside rear tyre, and I have a feeling that that contributes quite heavily to the really crappy, weird handling that this car's always suffered with. So fingers crossed, it might be a bit nicer to drive if we actually get to drive it. We've got a lot of work to do before that actually happens, so let's crack on. Next job is new in-date 6-point harnesses. This is the TRS Ultralight, which is Driftworks edition. It's the lightweight version with the 6-point ball breaker just there. Yeah, everything's pretty old and out of date on this car, in case you hadn't realised already. Here's another new fancy bit that's going in. This is a Stilo, it's basically like a phone kit. so you can use your phone to talk to Jay, who's the spotter.
Yeah.
He's going to tell me what I'm doing wrong and what I'm almost all the time doing wrong.
I think you already know normally.
I usually do, but I need reassurance that I'm doing something wrong. But yeah, it is useful sometimes just to have somebody to talk to.
It's useful to know how the man behind you did on a chase, isn't it? You know, that was the... Or if you're coming into the pits with a run. Yeah,
because normally you have to just guess. Follow the noise. Yeah. But yeah, this essentially connects to my earbuds, which are moulded to my ears. And on kind of like a phono cable, it connects that and a microphone that's inside the helmet as well. And hopefully it's nice and easy to hear. What else is going on? I almost forgot one of the most important bits. Yeah, there's a gear lever there, which means there's a gearbox in, which means that Quaife, the absolute heroes that they are, have got the gearbox back to us, and Craig, the absolute hero that he is, has got it fitted to the car. So
if you look at that's the load side of the thing. It's basically pitted the tooth.
Yeah.
But this gear, I mean, this is the first time this box has been apart since
2014 we worked out, wasn't it?
It's never ever.
Absolutely mad.
Just had oil changes, that's it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and a lot of you may not be aware of how much abuse this car's had over the years, but I can assure you it's more than your average drift car, that's for sure. So yeah, that's back in. But that also came with its own complications because the clutch was toast. We got a new quartermaster clutch, which I haven't shown any images of. I'm not very good at this YouTubing, am I? But we had a different stack height, obviously, on the clutch. Then we needed a different hydraulic release bearing because we were using one that was temporary from an emergency fix that we did on that BDC round, which was the last time we used it. Headers rewrapped and painted. Jay originally painted them silver and I came in with the black afterwards. New tyres fitted on the front. And since jet washing the back out, Jay has done a phenomenal job of cleaning up the Perspex windows as best as possible. There's still a little bit to do, but
it's sort of see-through.
Yeah, this camera's making it look a lot crappier than it actually is. But
sure it's just manky old tyre that you're scraping off them.
Is that what it is?
I think so.
It's just poison tyre stuck to it.
I think so. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, but it looks so much better for that. So yeah, thanks, mate.
No problem.
Another one of them miserable jobs you're really good at.
Yeah.
50 minutes on the phone to America has resulted in more confusion than ever. I just don't get it. So yeah, I was showing you the differences and the locks that we need for these valves. They don't exist apparently. So I think these are 6068 from Comp Cams, and I've just spoken to them. That's the part number 6068-8, I think, something like that. Just spoken to them, said we need a set of valve locks for these valves that you supplied. They're like, we don't do them. I'm like, what? They said you need to speak to Manly. So I've rung Manly in the States, and they've gone, oh no, there's no such thing as that. 5/16 beadlock style 7-degree taper valve lock doesn't exist. So that's just great.
Someone tell you the answer.
Oh, absolutely. Somebody will tell me this after we've done all this. But for now, Jay and I have just been round to the stores next door, and we have brought round the other heads, the original heads off this engine, because this is an LSX steel block. We've got the original LSX heads, which are, you know, nice enough. We've had to get the original cam that went with this as well, which isn't a standard LSX cam, but it's quite a bumpy one, but still uses hydraulic lifters. We're trying to find the valve train for it, the rest of it, aren't we? But Craig thinks he's got it in the stores.
Well, he'll have something.
Yeah. We've also just, this is not what you see here, but we've also just done a very simple petrol test with this. We've just poured fuel into the valve area and we've blown some air up from underneath. Left it sitting for a bit to see whether it does anything.
Not that we've got much choice.
Yeah, they're sealed enough, and you know, we can't be we can't be any more particular than that really at this current time, because we are literally out of time.
It feels like real drifting, doesn't it?
It really does, last minute, where you've tried your best to be as prepared as possible over quite a lot of time, and you still get down to the last minute and it kicks you in the ass.
Yeah, every time. Every time.
But yeah, in one sense, it's kind of okay, because these are the heads that are meant to go with that engine, and ultimately we do have the posh 50 kilo litre RHS block to go back in the car if we can get those heads set up, work the valves out and get them back on that engine. So unfortunately the 86 is going to be down on power compared to what it normally would be. But
I'm sure it'll be gutless.
I'm sure it'll be absolutely gutless. Yeah. But more importantly, hopefully this now means that we can get this back together and progress with the rest of the stuff that we need to do in an extremely short amount of time. Always awesome. Going backwards, isn't it?
Backwards to go forwards or something.
Yeah, we were just saying though, yes, this is a pain, yes, it's not going to be as good, but at least we get to move forward under our own power at the moment, not waiting for other people for other stuff. So yeah, we've rebuilt this, by the way. It didn't need it at all.
No, it was good, to be fair.
Yeah,
so.
But after the disaster we used to have with main bearings and running cranks as a result, I thought we'd make sure. I figured do something quite unusual and show us actually doing something rather than just talking about it.
Old-fashioned way, yeah.
Because it just happens, doesn't it?
The problem is, I've explained this before, but the camera adds so much time to doing anything, and the last thing we need is for anything to be delayed any further. So yeah, apologies if it's talky and we're explaining what we're doing rather than actually showing you, but we are about to remove what is commonly referred to as a bump stick.
It's a man's cam, this one though, isn't it?
This one's a proper lumper, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one unfortunately has to come out because this uses solid lifter, and yeah, we don't have the ability to run solid lifter in the normal LSX heads. So yeah, it's all got to go back to essentially a completely standard 454 steel block LSX, with the exception of the cam. And the valve springs and retainers are different as well. I can't remember what else is different.
Well, the RHS valves, the valves are much longer. The actual.
No, I mean from an original LSX.
Oh, what? Sorry.
Change from this.
Your valve springs?
It's valve springs and retainers.
Yeah,
and
with dual valve springs, we take tie retainers.
Yeah.
Stronger push rods.
Yeah.
Again.
Have we got the push rods?
Yeah. Somewhere.
And a big cam. Apart from that, it's a stock LSX.
Yeah. Apart from obviously it has
dry
sump on it, which is this is basically what you need if you can. Yeah. It's basically the it gives you the ability to be absolutely sure about revving the tits off it, if nothing else.
It doesn't fix everything.
It does not, and we have, as I said before, we have had plenty of issues with these engines that were entirely as a result of the original ATI damper, not this one. This one is one that we ended up getting with the daily pump and everything. Originally we were running a different dry sump setup and had the original ASCAR.
It was semi-dry sump because it still had the original oil pump on it. Yeah. So it's basically like an LS7 one, which is semi-dry sump. So it stores the oil in the can, but it still runs that pump.
But yeah, ultimately the issue was the ATI damper, and it was causing whip in the crank and the cam. It was causing harmonic resonance, and we were basically, was it doing it was 3 central cam bearings, wasn't it?
It was wearing the main bearings for the big ends, which is odd. And it kept walking the back cam bearing out the block. Yeah.
So it took us a while to diagnose that, but yeah, we got there now. And
that was a battle, wasn't it?
It was misery for a year and a bit.
It was something to do though, wasn't it?
Yeah, roll around on the floor in the pits as usual.
Yeah, take it, show it places, put it in the trailer, bring it home with the rattly engine. Yeah, it's the best.
Yeah. Hang on, we're supposed to be filming actually doing stuff.
Yeah, I'm doing stuff, I can't hang around and wait for you.
We were talking crap about Jay's weak 800 horsepower and we missed the moment of glory.
The big cam.
That is the cam, still looks good.
So that's basically a cam lobe for solid lifters, which if you're running high joint lifters you need much different ramp angles. So this is marked up Big cam, LSX.
Big cam.
But not as big as that.
No.
So medium cam.
We used to think this was a big cam. Yeah, we do know what this is. I got it in the numbers somewhere when we ordered it. But yeah, in comparison, I think it's nowhere near as lumpy.
No, I mean, it's still... You wouldn't want to drive on the road.
Nah.
I would.
You also wouldn't want to drive it with intake manifold.
Yeah, so...
You know, big cams like this...
On a 102 throttle body, it's like...
Yeah, it's like that. When you've got like an intake manifold, you end up like with like reversion and, you know, blowing back into the manifold in rich spots and all that.
Yeah.
That's where throttle bodies make the most difference because...
Independent throttle bodies, you mean?
Independent throttle bodies, so yeah.
ITBs like this, it actually, I can drive it around the pits without it like pushing all the time.
Because at some point to like a cam like that, you know, you got fuel going back in the inlet and it goes so rich, it goes weak, and it's a nightmare to tune as well. So.
Cool for the internet, but if you actually drive your car, it's really annoying. Right, new gaskets, dowels in. Head. To me. That's up a bit, tiny bit, and then at the back. Should be about there. Yeah, it's not far off. It's just there we go. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got it.
Yep. There we go.
Yeah.
Is that the right way around? Yeah.
Is this water pump out of the way now? Steering pump?
I think so. Yeah. There we go. Right.
Sweet.
There we go.
None of this. 20 cams, 4 locking tools.
Can you imagine doing a Ford now? You've got all the cameras now.
I mean, a new Chevy would be bad enough, wouldn't it?
Craig got the heads torqued down last night, and just in early because Craig doesn't like getting up. I mean, he was here until probably 7 last night, but yeah, getting the exhaust manifolds back on. Still itchy work despite having sprayed them with the paint after doing the exhaust strap. You know, I'm not doing it in my bed at least, AJ. Strong morning's work, strong. Look at that. Looks like an engine again.
It's getting there, isn't it?
Yeah, I haven't had time to pick the camera up much, but yeah, we are final throws maybe? Not far away from starting, we hope. Obviously, going back to the old heads caused loads of problems, finding bits that we don't use on the new heads. So yeah, digging through all the spares next door, finding bits and pieces, but yeah, like I say, it's all looking okay. It's had old oil in it for ages, so I'm just currently using a drill and an adapter onto the dry sump pump and spinning that up, and you may be able to see, no, it's kind of finished now, but the tank at the back was a little bit sludgy, but and then we've got some out the front as well, just trying to get as much out of it as possible before putting the new, fresh and super expensive motor in there. Ready for first fire up. First thing we thought is maybe we should put the dry sump belt back on, so it actually puts oil pressure in the engine. I heard that's useful sometimes, a bit of oil pressure. So you ready to go?
Well, we have pre-oil pressured it with the pump.
Yeah, basically we run the pump with the new oil, and I don't know whether you can just see in the back here, we've got a nice sight on the dry sump tank which sits very nicely there.
Go on, let's turn the key.
Are we ready?
Yep.
We've got too much oil in it.
What an absolute...
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Let's go.
Drain some out.
What an absolute ridiculous thing.
That's quite good, wasn't it?
Fresh wrap on that.
It stinks.
Well, that's pretty good after.
That's not bad. Why is it front firing still or back firing? Why are we still seeing?
It's on.
Oh, it's the old heads, isn't it? Of course.
It's the old head. It's weak. I mean, that's on cold start.
Yeah.
I mean, bearing in mind them heads, we haven't had the valves out the heads or anything.
No.
We don't really know how good them seats are because they've done a long time with no filters as well.
We did a very quick petrol pour test and it didn't come out. We only left it like 30 seconds, but
well, we had no choice.
Yeah.
They're going on.
These were going on, or we weren't going to do any drifting. So
oil pressure's good.
Yeah.
So
happy days. Just the other 150 jobs to do now, but yeah, I'll probably do it for this video. That's enough effort for one video, I think, isn't it? Top work. Top work, men, as usual.
Try and get some water in it.
Just like the old days, isn't it? Last minute, Larry, everything going wrong, but it seems to be running, so cross your fingers for us and give us a like if you enjoyed the video, as always. Make sure you're subscribed, all the normal stuff, and if you feel like buying something from the Driftworks shop, always much appreciated. We'll catch you next time.